Live from inside Porsche, Colorado Springs, it's the First Dibs podcast with our hosts, John Dicey and Justin Underwood. Buckle up and let's go for a ride.
Hola, John Dicey.
Do you ever wonder what they say?
No, I just enjoy the music. Mm-hmm.
It's very pretty.
It is very pretty. Rocky Balboa.
Welcome back, everybody.
This is the First Dibs podcast from inside
it's
Porsche,
supposed
Colorado
to be.
Springs. Mm-hmm.
It is supposed to be. We're going to leave this on in the background a little bit because it's kind of nice.
It is nice.
Actually, let's just take it off the air, then we can listen to it.
Little relaxing.
And then everybody else, we're not going to get flagged for copyright infringement.
Right? They're going to wonder why we're very suave.
Yeah, exactly. Justin's back. He had a trip to Germany.
Yeah.
They let him back in our country.
All right.
So that probably says good things. We've got trophies to share.
That's good. Yep.
That's kind of fun. We'll talk over those with for those of you that are not watching. But other than that, I feel like I've just been running and running and running.
I know, you haven't even stopped to shave.
I'm not.
Why? Because it's No Shave November.
It is that. I'm going to shave.
Eventually.
Eventually. It just gets itchy and irritating. I can't deal with
there's
it.
multiple stages of that.
Yeah. So I might have a week left, but I'm definitely aged. like my beard used to be very black with little streaks of copper. Okay. And now there's definitely some serious gray going on in there. So I'm an old man, and that's okay.
Yep.
But I don't know. The holidays, Halloween crept up on me.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're to we had our first snow.
Like a major snow.
Big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that, Saturday to Sunday?
Yeah.
I think it was Saturday to Sunday. So it was after the last episode. And we got, I think, 11 inches down here, something like that. When I woke up Tuesday morning, not only was my lawn, we need a little more of that Spanish guitar back in there. That was kind of nice. But I woke up and not only was my lawn dusted in snow, but my phone told me it was 9 degrees outside.
Right. Yeah. No, so I flew back and got back late Saturday and to a dead battery in my car. So that was fun. That was kind of...
He doesn't drive a Porsche.
Right. I parked my Mazda, my 200,000+ Mazda at the airport. And anyway, so that was like a little bit of a fun adventure. But I mean, it was like legit snowing, and I could tell that it had been snowing for a while. Up in Parker, where I'm at, I mean, I had a few inches right on the ground.
That was serious.
It was.
That was a weather event,
and it was cold. It was super cold. So
yeah,
that was a definite welcome back. I mean, it was kind of wet and dreary in Germany pretty much the whole time, but it wasn't snowing.
Yeah.
So
what are they like? New York latitude, or a little south of that?
I want to say north of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Thinking, yeah. I mean, yeah. Either similar or, maybe. I could see maybe New York. So our flight was different this time. So flew from Denver to Reykjavik, Iceland.
Oh, that sounds
and then
fun.
Back down to Berlin. So that was kind of cool. So I guess I could say I've been in Iceland now.
That's pretty cool.
Right? For a half an hour, getting on a bus to go to the next terminal to find the next plane. But
was it as pretty as they say?
Didn't really get to see
nice
much.
airport.
Yeah, I mean, it is a nice. It's felt like the rest of the European airports. I mean, it's like an old airfield, So it's not like the airport, where you walk, and you're inside the building the whole time, and then you walk out onto a jetway or jet bridge or whatever you want to call it to an airplane. No, I mean, you go to your terminal, and then you check through the the gates or whatever, you hop on a bus, and then the bus takes you out to an airplane.
Yeah.
And there's lots of airplanes out there. So that's why it just felt almost like a movie, like it really felt like an old military airfield. And there's just planes populated around, and then there's steps, stairs going up to each plane. So, the bus drivers, kudos to them that they know where they're going, right? It's like they're going to just drop us off at some plane, and then before you know it, we're in Hungary.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
Everybody all aboard for wherever.
Yeah. So that was cool. But anyway, no, Iceland Air did a fantastic job. I would highly recommend. It's not super luxurious or anything. It's not Lufthansa, but they did a great job. It was actually pretty smooth, good connections, nice people, and stuff. So I would totally do that again. It was just easy. But yeah, the trip to Germany was actually pretty fun. So one of the things that I was asked to do, right, as we mentioned on the show before, was do a demonstration or at least a talk on the First Dibs podcast, just because Porsche thinks it's a little bit of an interesting concept.
Nobody else is doing it.
Right, that's right. No one else is doing it.
We'll let you guys screw this up so we can learn from your mistakes.
Some of the feedback that I got from, people that were there was saying, that's great job. That's such a cool idea. I was talking to some of my colleagues. I think that's something we could do. And I flat out told them, even during the presentation, I don't think you can do this. And during the presentation, I literally said, I'm not sure how anyone would implement this in their Porsche setup. Yeah. Reason being is that it has to be genuine, has to be authentic. This isn't something you can assign somebody to do.
Yep.
You got to really.
You can't pay me to like you.
Right. You got to want to do it, right? And
that's true.
People were blown away that we've got over 100 shows.
Yeah.
They were fascinated, and so a number of people listened, right, to our show. And
to refresh your memory, go back and listen to the first 7 minutes of number 114.
So they listened to the show before our classic roundtable, which the episode that John's talking about, and majority of people that I talked to that listened to the show thought it was absolutely hysterical. I met this couple from Thailand that listened to it. They stopped me right at dinner one night, just saying that it was absolutely hysterical. Well, I presented it on Tuesday. Monday night was our kind of welcome reception, which is basically just a big party at the hotel bar. And this guy, Richard, that was basically putting the whole round table together, was the main, MC, if you will, for the entire event. I'm at the bar talking with some other people, and then Richard comes up and he says, "Hey," he's German. I'm not going to act like.
Yeah. One thing we're not good at on the show is accents.
So he says, Justin from Colorado. And I said, yeah, that's me, Richard. Hey, nice to meet you. And he says, no, pleasure's meeting you. He said, so yeah, you're presenting tomorrow. And I said, yeah, no, I'm scheduled to present tomorrow. He says, on the First Dibs podcast. And I said, yeah, very good.
He's name dropping there.
That's right.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I said, we have listeners in Germany. Are you one of them? And he goes, as of very recent, I am. I go, really? and he
One
starts,
and done.
He starts laughing and, kind of smirking. He says, yes, I do my homework and research to find out a little bit more before I start talking about it.
Thank God John's not here.
And he says, yes, very interesting show. He goes, I do love the idea. I love the concept. I think he goes, I think I will become a more active listener. And I said, that's great. And he goes, yes, so your friend Bucky from the U.S. recommended that we play a piece of the show during your presentation. And I said, really? He goes, yes. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to make that happen. I go, that's too bad, because that show all in the first 6.5 minutes is a great show. He said, oh yes.
Oh, boy.
I can definitely understand why. He goes, but no, unfortunately it's just too late, and we're not going to be able to add that in. Like, okay,
that's nice.
That's fine.
So it's down soft.
Right, exactly. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, people loved it. I mean, they thought it was awesome. I didn't have anyone say anything negative at all.
Well, I hope some of them reach out and help us improve this,
I think so.
because it'd be great to take, I feel like, I think we've talked about this before, but I was a good swimmer because you could tell me what I was doing wrong.
Sure.
And then I stopped doing it and I got better. And I feel like that has been kind of my path in life, is I'm coachable. And, I'm not so set in my ways. There's things I believe, but I don't have to, if you tell me not to tell dick jokes next time, okay, I'll remember that. We listened to George Carlin.
Yes.
We took that advice. We figured out the 7 words we can't say.
Yep.
So we're not going to use any of those. And honestly, there's one that I was surprised about, but
Yeah,
that's okay.
That's right.
I don't think we've used any of them, so that's cool.
That's good.
But feedback's great. How do you get better if you just rely on what you think? We need feedback from the outside audience and stuff like that on.
Yeah.
What do you like? What do you not like?
Yeah. Well, and some of these places have such amazing Porsche centers that would be unreal. I mean, if so, I talked to this couple from Porsche Melbourne.
Yeah.
And they have this incredible center where they have a Carrera Cup team that's in-house.
This is down in Australia, right?
Yeah. The Carrera Cup team is in-house. So they do Porsche Classic, full restorations. They do obviously new cars and warranty work and maintenance and all that kind of stuff. But then they have the race team, and that's all they do. I mean, it's a dedicated race team, right? But then the importer, so like for us, it's Porsche Cars North America. Well, their Porsche Australia importer is in the upstairs of this dealership, which it makes it a little bit unusual, but it's massive, right? And they've got this huge operation going. So talking to that guy, I said, "Man, you guys have an incredible operation going down there." He goes, "Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's been around, a long time, and there's a lot of things going on." He says, "But, listening to you about what you're doing and looking into your podcast, and that makes us look into your dealership." He says, "You actually have all of the same stuff going on that we do, but because it's just smaller," he goes, it's more intimate. He goes, "You guys are more woven." He said, he goes, "I can tell that at your dealership, you have a super strong team there. You have to, because you wouldn't be able to do all the things that you're doing." He goes, "My colleague and I that are here are super blown away by what you guys are doing in Colorado Springs." I'm like, well,
good job.
Yep. Yeah. I'm just going to go to bed now.
Yeah. I'm going to take the rest of the year off.
Right.
That compliment was enough for me. That's all I need. Yeah.
But anyway, so that's just a quick recap. I mean, I could talk about that trip for quite a while.
Did you get us any invites to any of the press launches coming up?
No, because Porsche Classic people aren't involved with any of that stuff. They have nothing to do with any of that stuff. No, what I came back with is like, "Hey, you remember all this teamwear we can order?" Cool.
I need new shirts. I need a new guacamole bowl.
For like $90 for a polo shirt or whatever, and it's teamwear that you can only wear for specific events. You can't wear it out, when you go to Home Depot or whatever. It's cool.
Why can't I wear it to Home Depot?
We're gonna order. We'll still order some stuff. You got to buy it. The store's not gonna buy it. But I've got until the end of the month to put an order together. So, but it's cool because it's stuff that we haven't been able to get in the past. It's things that we've been jealous of, saying that everyone else in the world can get this cool Porsche Classic teamwear stuff. We can't get it in the U.S. because of some weird rule, like
because large is an XL,
right?
Sizing.
Everyone wears lady cut t-shirts and stuff. But so anyway, so I've got a time frame. I've got a catalog that I got to go through and choose some stuff, but just making sure people are aware, like this, the store is not providing this for you. When this crazy jacket comes in and it's $700, you still got to buy it, right? We can't send it back. So I don't know the pricing on the jacket, but anyway, it's all kind of pricey stuff, but it's cool.
I can only wear it while I'm on campus
for an event, a classic event. Yep. Pretty cool.
Yeah. That sounds great. One time wear.
Right.
That sounds good. I'll rent a tux.
Yeah. But it was cool because not to beat a dead horse, but the Porsche Classic Roundtable, it's been at a different spot in Germany or Austria for the last several years. And Berlin was super interesting. I'm sure a lot of our listeners have been there. They know all this stuff. But getting to see Checkpoint Charlie and seeing so much history and the wall and the food, and I mean, I didn't have a bad meal the whole time. Actually, the only kind of letdown on the food was the food from the event. It was all hors d'oeuvres. It like wasn't even German food. So anyway, I've told everyone here, a story. I'll tell the world real quick, but I met up with this really great group of guys. Some of them I knew from other classic roundtables, but other ones were new. And we went to dinner on Tuesday night. Realized that we were going to get served pretty much the exact same stuff that we had the night before. And so a group of us said, no, we're not doing this. We left. We got in a cab. There were 6 of us. Got in a cab, went just past Checkpoint Charlie, and went to this restaurant that was awesome, right? We get there. It's packed. Absolutely packed. It's raining. It's cold. Walk inside. And the guy standing at the front says it's going to be at least hour 45, maybe 2 hours. You're better off just going somewhere else. Oh, okay. So the guy that organized this, he's a strong arm.
Yep.
And anyway, so he says, "Oh, okay." And then all of a sudden, I hear him say, "Where's my guy at?" He just starts kind of like walking around the restaurant, and he points this guy. He's like, "Hey, there he is!" And he goes up and he gives this guy kind of a side high five type thing. And they start talking. Well, anyway, I go with the rest of the group. We're going to go wait outside, figure out what we're going to do, or maybe we're just going to wait. I don't know. Well, we've got time. We got nothing to do. Anyway, so the host person, if you want to call him that, says it's going to be 2 hours. Go somewhere else. The guy, the strong arm guy, comes outside. He said they're going to seat us in 5 minutes. And apparently, so how this happened was that the strong arm guy and some other people went to the same restaurant a couple nights before. And they had no Wiener Schnitzel, but that's the reason that they went there. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, he just recognized, he found the waiter, and they had a great time with the waiter. The waiter's who he was talking to, and he gave him a story. He was persistent. Said, "Look, man, I know it's my fault. I didn't check. I didn't call in advance. I didn't make a reservation. I just feel really bad because I convinced a bunch of guys that I'm here with Porsche for to come down here. We ditched our last event to come down here. I got 6 of my best guys here, to come enjoy dinner with you, and we're not going to be able to do that." And the waiter says, "There's 6 of you. You're all here." He says, "Yeah, no, we're here, man. We're here for you. We want to work with you."
Yep.
And he says, this family's leaving in 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. That waiter made the evening. The food was delicious. It was amazing. And the waiter was awesome. And he remembered the strong arm guy from a few nights before. It was fantastic. That was one of the highlights. We drove hot rods like through Berlin, little tiny go-kart hot rods. That was pretty awesome.
That sounds cool.
Kind of like Mario Kart in Tokyo, but these are little American-looking hot rods. It was fun. But that's boring for a lot of people. So we should talk a little bit of business now that we're
did you prepare any business? I didn't prepare any business.
Well, yeah. So we
just the trophies, which you talked about before you left.
Well, this is a longer story. So a car that's sitting right outside that came in just tonight. This one's going to be tossed up in the air. It's a 2013 Cayenne GTS.
Yeah.
What's the color?
Umber metallic.
That's right. With does it have Tartufo interior? Is that what it's called? Or is it?
Could be. It's black with brown.
Yeah.
It could be Tartufo.
Yeah. Awesome car, 109,000 miles, which may not sound super stellar, but really well taken care of. It's a super nice car. It's kind of, and the reason I say it's up in the air right now is that we don't know exactly the fate of this car. So went out and specifically sourced a 2008 Cayenne S to redo kind of an overland type car. Well,
is that for a client or is that just for fun?
Just for fun.
Okay.
Just do it differently than we did the last
Why
one.
hasn't anybody done my race truck yet?
So that came up.
Thank God.
So this car coming in today, I think the 13 GTS would be an awesome, kind of like overland car.
Sure.
However, the 08S has a good shape, like has a good design to be the overland type car, like the actual off-roady car, because I think it's boxier.
It's boxier, and they get the low speed transfer case.
Yes.
That the newer Cayennes don't.
And the 13 doesn't.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's a better.
And the 13 has more aero to it. It's a sleeker shape.
Yep.
air suspension, so we could totally slam it to the ground.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that, saying, hey, look, we could do this. Could
Let's
be
do
like
both.
This could be the race truck.
Yeah.
We could do the 08, right?
Yep.
That we got specific for the Overland, and then we trailer our race version.
Yeah.
To it.
I like that.
I think it's pretty cool.
I like that idea. I think, do the 11s have a hatch that pops?
No, you mean the
The
glass?
tailgate glass? Yeah.
The glass isn't.
Yeah, I
separate.
didn't think so.
The 08 does.
Yep.
The 20th 13th.
How are we going to take pictures out the back?
Just remove the glass.
All right.
It does have a panoramic roof.
Oh, that could work. Just stand up.
And so that was something that came up, is having a panoramic roof isn't really ideal for an Overland type car.
Yep.
But this is the 2-piece. It's not the multi 4-piece roof. So that's okay. I wouldn't be concerned about that personally.
Yeah.
But so we got to make some decisions. We'll get them checked out and see what we want to do there. So they may or may not be available to the public.
Or you can just buy the finished project.
Yeah. Yeah. Or decide like, hey, I've been wanting to do that. Well, then buy it now, and then we'll build it with you. So we can totally do
way
that.
better.
That would be awesome. That'd be fun, because it's someone on the outside giving their design ideas. I think that's pretty cool. So anyway, there's that. While I was gone, we took in some cool cars.
Yep.
We got
I think we briefly touched on the chalk touring last week. I think.
We got GT Madness going on again.
We got and more coming.
Right. Well, yes.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Ultraviolet is back.
Ultraviolet's
in the showroom.
here.
That thing's really pretty.
Super cool.
It's fun to be removed from them for a while,
It is.
because when you've got 3 ultraviolet GT3 RSs, you're kind of like, well, doesn't everybody have 3 GT3 RSs?
The worst time of that is when we had 3 of the 11 signal green GT3s.
Yeah.
Remember that? Mm-hmm. And you're telling people they made 11.
Yeah.
They made 11. You have 3?
Yeah.
Well, it was just weird.
We like the color. Yeah.
Super bizarre how that had happened. But
Yep.
you're right. It's hard to describe to someone. Like, this is rare. Like, obviously it's not.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, the chalk touring, we got a chalked wing car.
We did?
Oh, that's not here yet? Oh.
We had a white one.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The white
That's
with
right.
gold.
Yeah, the white with gold. Yeah, you're right. Those are both manuals, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, which is cool.
Both buckets.
But yeah, because we haven't had manuals
Yeah.
for so long.
Those are so epic. I had the experience. I got to talk to a guy that recently sold a business, and so he's got a little cash to play with, and he just wants a fun toy. And he wasn't really sure what he wanted, and didn't get the right experience up in Denver. And then roundabout got in touch with us. Excuse me. Double excuse me. And got to come down, and really fun to get to kind of educate somebody about Porsche, right? And he
Is this the guy from yesterday?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. And, he wanted something, a fun toy. It's not going to be a daily driver. It's going to be something he just wants to make it be exciting for him and something cool to drive on the weekends. He doesn't want to bring it to work because he just sold work, but he still works there. So he doesn't want everybody to think, oh man, look at the jerk that
Right.
just made a bunch of money. And talking through kind of, what he was looking for, we just were like, well, we should just drive some stuff, right? You don't have really much experience with Porsche as a brand, so let's get into some of the cars that are on the list. And so we drove a Cayman GT4, and then we drove a Carrera S, and then we drove a GT3 and a turbo, and we ran through a few of the different variations, and it was really fun to get to see them through like new eyes again. And like the GT4, we were driving it in traffic, and he said, this is probably not fast enough for me. And I go, yeah, I know. just wait. And so when traffic opened up, I said, okay, now put it in second and floor it. And second gear it probably runs to 70, 74 miles an hour or something like that. And it finally woke up
Right.
when it comes on cam and really starts to spin. And then he was like, "Oh man, now I get it." It's like, yes, exactly. And he's like, still, it's on the slow side of what I think I want. He drove a Tesla Model 3 Performance, so in terms of straight line acceleration, he's got something that's pretty quick. But it was fun to drive that and then kind of step up, and from the passenger seat, riding in a GT3 is just that car is just magic.
Right.
And the Turbo S and probably the Carrera S are faster. But there was something wild about that. I don't know if I'd want to drive it all the time, but to keep it as like the special weekend toy.
The GT3.
The GT3, yeah. I get that. I can't have one because I want back seats.
Sure.
But man,
Yeah.
that was a little zinger.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's something that we talk about in sales meetings once in a while. Is like, hey, if you need to find some encouragement or reinvigorate, kind of your mental attitude, go drive a car.
Yep.
Go hop. It doesn't even matter what it is. It
I might do that all day tomorrow.
It could be a Panamera, right? The car just makes your day better.
Yep,
right?
they do.
So yeah, that's awesome. And especially, I agree with you. I love when the people come in and they either know nothing and they're open to learning about it.
Yep.
Right. Or they know a little bit, but they just want to understand more. I think that's super fun to get to describe that stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can watch videos and read articles, and that tells you a lot, but it doesn't give you your own opinion.
Right.
You have to be in the car yourself, because what I think is too stiff and what my dad thinks is too stiff,
Yeah.
different.
Right.
So how do I figure out what I want and what's, you know, what's right or wrong for me?
Yeah. Where'd the customer land? What's his?
GT4 RS seems like a sweet spot,
Okay.
I think. Comfy seats,
Okay.
and then pretty open from there. So,
Okay. Well, that would be a fun one to have.
Yeah, I know. That's it's gonna be a little bit of a trick.
Wouldn't they all?
But I don't know. The conversation's open. I don't think the day didn't end at it has to be this or that. It kind of ended at, wow, I've got a lot to think about now, because there's, how are you going to use the car, right? I don't know. If the car was just for me, I would pick one thing. But if it's for me to share with the rest of my family, I'd pick something else.
Sure.
And you got to weigh all of that and kind of decide what's the one.
Right. No, that's good. But yeah, noticing some of those cars that came in last week, good stuff. I think I saw a 23. Is it a GTS coupe?
Ice gray.
Yeah. And one from just the other day, a 22 Carrera S.
Yeah, I think it's a
21
Carrera S. Yep.
There was some other stuff that it was good to see. Even like F-150 Platinum loaded.
Yeah.
I got a $77,000 MSRP, I think is what it was. Nice truck. Off-brand stuff, but I mean, super nice truck. Even there's a Mazda, like CX-5 or something.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a super nice car. So there was a couple things that I noticed that came in. So that's awesome. That's good work, for that time. And I guess just to get to our war display that we have sitting up here is a car that kind of officially is coming available now. It's a 1974 911.
Yep.
Super cool car. And John was given a minor task today, and that's to go through the records that are supplied from 1979.
76.
76.
There's a piece of paper dated 1976.
Nice. All the way to a week ago.
Crazy.
What can you tell me about the car?
I like it.
Enough said, everybody.
Yeah. I think it's one of those really cool, interesting cars with a story that's been loved for a very, very, very long time by one family.
Right.
There's a couple that they bought it in 1983. I'm pretty sure they're the third owner of the car. We have the second owner buying it in 1979. And just one of those, it was a 911 that was used and like really used correctly. They did PCA, Porsche Club track days and racing in it. At some point, they bent some valves in the motor, and rather than just doing a stock rebuild, they decided to kind of turn it into a Carrera RS type motor. So they did like there's math on the back of some of the paperwork calculating compression ratios and talking about the different cam profiles and why they picked the E cam rather than the S cam. And I don't understand cams, right? Sure. I couldn't tell you why, but they go through all of these selections, and they made the intake ports and the exhaust ports bigger and all of this stuff to make the car breathe better when they were doing the rebuild, because why just do it stock? Yeah. And after getting to drive it, you feel it. You know, that motor is awake.
Yeah. And it's carbureted too.
Yeah. They put, 40 millimeter Webers on it, Weber downdrafts, and sounds good, feels good. The exhaust sounds great. It didn't look like it had any of the thermal reactors or anything else underneath it. So very free flowing, shouty exhaust.
Yeah. I do know that it will not pass emissions. That is disclosure.
I would believe that. Yep. I would believe that.
Yeah. It's been because it's being registered in Arizona for the last several years, because they have a place there and they can do that. But I mean, the owners are just, I mean, they're amazing, fantastic people.
Well, I mean, all of these trophies are theirs.
Yeah. So I guess where the trophy stuff comes from is, like John was mentioning, from, the duration that they own the car from 1983 up until 2006, they were using it. What the intent for was Porsche Club track stuff. I mean, it was a driver as well.
There's a receipt from 1984 for harnesses and an anti-submarine belt.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. 1984 is when they first set this thing up to use as a track toy.
Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah, and traveled around doing it. Yeah. Their favorite racetrack to run was Aspen, so Woody Creek. They were sad to see Second Creek, which was like kind of Denver, North Denver or whatever, closed down. But both husband and wife are both Porsche Club driving instructors for several years. And then the last club race that they did was in Arizona in 2006. And then after that, they just used the car to become like a concourse car. So just basically spent time cleaning it and repairing small things that needed to be done and doing whatever, but made it a show car.
So I drove it today with a client, and we both agreed it was shocking that thing was a race car, because race cars aren't that clean,
right?
And they're peppered with. They're race cars.
Yeah, right.
Right? You rip out the whole interior and you splice things in, but this is a nice car. The headliner is beautiful.
Right.
And in a race car, it doesn't have a headliner. You tear that out, right? And you get rubber and rocks and stuff like that popping all over the front.
Yeah.
Very, very nice car.
Yeah, super well cared for it. So the couple that had this car, they came with us on our classic rally. They were driving a Boxster.
Yeah, how cool is that?
Yeah, no, it was super fun. And they were talking when we were signing paperwork stuff to get this car. They were talking, saying, "Hey, we really enjoyed that." We just expressed again how much fun that was, and we got to chat more, about the 74 and its history and what they did with it and where it's been, and then they came and dropped this stuff off, just saying, "Hey, I mean, this has been kind of our garage art, for this car, for the last several years, but it's kind of the part of the car's history, and so if the next owner of the car wants it, they can have it." It's kind of cool. I mean, it's more storytelling on this car than I think any other car that I've had here.
Yeah, I mean, that 86 Carrera we have, that's got a binder.
It's got a binder.
That has a big binder of stuff. But it doesn't have trophies.
No.
So
no.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's neat to see when you've got service history, like John mentioned, of the mild hot rod build for the engine because of being raced, but you can see how well it was cared for because they're winning car shows at the same time. So it's a super unique, really, really fun car. Very special. I think it's very special. So I'm excited for this one to get through our kind of reconditioning process. And become available, just because I can already hear many conversations, stories being told with this car. So I have no doubt that maybe the first person that comes in to take a look at it or something just absolutely falls in love with not just the car itself but all of its story.
And I think if the driving experience didn't stack up with all of the paperwork, then kind of who cares?
Sure.
But driving it, it's very, very strong. It really likes to rev.
Yes. Quickly.
Jeb was telling me it's got a very, very early form of
like a rev limiter.
Rev limiter, yes, thanks. Where in the rotor on the distributor, so the rotor spins around, and that's how the spark happens. Basically, it sends the spark to the spark plugs, and if it spins too fast, there's a spring that releases, and then it no longer sends the spark. But you can replace that with different ones. So this one is like a 6,500 RPM rev limit, but they make 7,200s.
Right.
And I kind of wonder what happens if you just swap those,
right?
Because when you have to shift at 6 and a bit, that engine is pulling harder.
Right.
It's not starting to fall down. And, I if it was my car, I'd probably put an 8 in there and just know that, don't push it to 8. But,
yeah, right.
Or just even get one that doesn't have a limiter and just limit it with your own foot. Let's try that.
That could be dangerous.
Let's just weld the spring on that thing. But dang, that thing, that was cool. And I think one of my favorite classics I've driven was that Tangerine S that we had. That thing really came on at about 4 to 4,500, I think, if I remember right, and then pulled pretty hard to 7. And this thing, it comes on power. It's actually got pretty good torque everywhere, but it really starts to sing as you're hitting like 5. And so you've got 5 to 6, and it just explodes.
Right.
And then you got to shift. So I think it's got some room to rev.
Right.
So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So put some thought into your head with that one.
Yep.
Yeah. So that one, super cool car. Excited to get some pictures and videos of that one posted. So, what else? I mean, I think we have a 64 356C that finally made it through the shop, and Jason.
That's an SC, isn't it?
I think you're right. Yeah, it's an SC.
A CSC.
Correct.
That
356C. SC.
That means yes.
But Jason got that through. And actually, I mean, it was already a very, very nice car. Just needed to have a fuel system clean out and just service, stuff like that. But Jason said, no, it turned out great. Just an amazing driving car. So now that one is it's sky blue. And I need to double check some of the records on that one. I think it's the right color exterior, but maybe wrong color interior, but numbers matching car. So that's, I mean, I think it had a red interior, which would have been really cool. It's got a black interior now.
Yep.
But anyway, sky blue is just a fantastic color. It's a great looking car. Just came I guess the last 2, maybe even 3 owners are local guys, and they're all kind of like collectors, mild collectors, if you will. So they just take care of things, really, really well. So that one should be coming active here very, very soon. But we've got another 356 that makes 2, and then 3 if you count the Emery. 356s here on the lot that are available. That's pretty cool.
Pretty neat.
Yeah, and they're all amazing. None of them are a project. They're all turnkey.
Yep.
So that's
every classic car is a project.
Well, yes, to a degree for sure.
But
Just a matter of how much degree.
But right now you could drive it home.
Yes. Yeah.
You could drive it home and then show your friends, and it would probably start tomorrow morning.
Yes. That is for sure.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool. I mean, I think our classic inventory is pretty strong. Our GT inventory is pretty strong, and it's about to get better.
Yeah.
New cars. We've got a lot of new Cayennes and Macans still.
996 turbos.
Yes.
We got a few of those.
Yeah, 996 turbos.
Yeah.
I saw you driving the blue one, our last year's restoration challenge car.
Yep.
So that's kind of exciting.
I have an appointment for the first week of December. The person that wants to buy it is out of country. He has out of the state. And his one of his good friends is one of our good friends, and he kind of helped with the initial inspection and everything of it. And so I drove it with him. And then the friend has like business associates flying in from Italy and things happening, and then it's Thanksgiving, and then he has a lot going on in his life,
Right.
But
More than us.
yes, exactly. So if you want it out there in First Dibs land, you got about 3 weeks before somebody serious flies in,
Right.
to check it out.
That's awesome.
That was a cool car.
That's a really cool car. That car also has a good story. I mean, I think it's cool. It's a fun story. And then what's the other? I mean, the yellow car, but we don't really talk about that much.
The 2001 GT2.
That's right. Yeah.
And then
that's such a cool car.
that thing is really cool. Yeah. And then the Turbo S cab with the Elephant Racing suspension stuff.
That thing's pretty sweet. And 997 seats.
Yeah.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
I didn't even recognize that like right away. But what's funny about that is I definitely noticed the seats felt really good. And for whatever reason, I thought these are the best 996 seats ever. What version are these?
Yeah.
Oh, they like didn't exist.
Yeah.
So no, that car has got some really cool stuff done to it. Oh, that reminds me. We had an RS6 traded in.
Yeah.
With an APR tune. They're saying that thing makes like 700 horsepower.
And I think what I heard is it's an APR plus tune.
Okay.
Which means they match the factory warranty on it. So this is what I heard. Don't quote me for sure.
Right.
But so if the tune caused a problem and the factory won't warranty it, APR would.
Interesting.
So
for some reason, I feel that Jason here
yeah,
is still an APR like contact.
yeah, we're probably listed.
I don't know that the dealership would be, but Eurocars used to be. And I think the only reason for that is because that's when Jason was involved with Eurocars. But anyway, I think he's got all this stuff. I think if we needed to make a change or whatever, on that car, he might be able to do that. I need to confirm that. But it's possible.
PCS Motorsports.
That's him.
Yep.
That's Jason.
Listed.
Has he got his cell phone on there?
Yep.
Let's call him.
Also Concours Cars, which is just up the road.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah. Very
cool. So that might be an answer.
We're on the website.
Yeah.
That'll count.
Right. So we were talking, Alfred and I were talking briefly. He's helping out big time with our next classic event, which is coming up on, I had to push it. It's December 2nd is what we are now planning for our Porsche Classic swap meet. The 11th was the initial tentative date, and
that's like tomorrow.
That was yesterday. So we had to push it out, which is good. It definitely gives us, proper time for planning, all that stuff. And Alfred had mentioned that it would be really, really good and good brownie points for us to have next year's, the upcoming Classic Restoration Challenge car at the swap meet.
You're going to bring the turbo up? The 86?
So I learned that we can't do that. We can't, yeah.
Well, I don't think anybody wants to actually do that car, but it'd be really funny to say, yeah, this is the car we're going to do.
No, there's something else that we can't, what they wanted to do with that, we can't do that. So, but anyway, I think that's a good point, because now we actually get to make an event. Not only are we doing a classic event, with the swap meet stuff, but now we're kind of tagging along another event for the Classic Restoration. So whatever that might be. And there's, so when that came up, there was some ideas bouncing around as far as there's already been chatter of what we're going to do for next year. There are some really big, crazy ideas. Stuff that I wouldn't have thought of.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I haven't even been involved yet.
Some ideas that could possibly even tie in Pikes Peak hill climb. There's some pretty incredible things floating around. So it's going to be exciting, but we've got basically just under a month to decide what it's going to be and put the car on display.
So there's a wrecked 996 turbo. It went into a wall at Rensport.
Oh, that won't be it. I think that car is actually under dirt now, maybe. I don't know.
It made it back.
Yeah. Did they bury it here?
I don't know. I don't know. I read the obituary.
Right.
But what else? Pikes Peaky.
Anyway.
Yeah. Cool.
There's
Don't think too hard.
No, there's definitely some different ideas. The tough part is that Porsche keeps changing the rules and categories and all that stuff.
Mid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because this past year they had categories: restoration, customization, preservation. And then Alfred had pointed out the car that should have won the restoration challenge didn't, because that Porsche Center didn't do like the social media and the events and all that. So the car, the Porsche
the best
Center,
restoration,
the Porsche Center that did all the brownie points but didn't have the coolest, best car, they won.
Yeah.
Because they scored all the points that Porsche wants you to do, right? And so, like Alfred was pointing out, so it doesn't matter how well you do the car. None of that matters. All you got, maybe you could just push it out there. But if you're the only Porsche Center that that checks every single box as far as events, all that stuff, there is no box for runs and drives, right? Maybe there's extra like bonus points or whatever.
in case of a tie.
Right. Yeah. And then there's even rumors spreading that the car that won wasn't even done by the Porsche Center. It was done by a third party.
What car won? Was it the crazy color one?
No, I want to say, was it the slant nose? Like, was it the 996 slant nose? I don't remember. But there was, whatever car, there was lots of controversy. Maybe that was just a car that was there that created a lot of controversy. Cause I mean, I think there was several, like many employees of the Porsche Center of that car. They had no idea that car even existed. They never saw it. It was completely done by some other company or whatever. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, it's hearsay. I don't know that. So, kind of fun.
Porsche Newsroom's watching. They won't let us verify.
That's really awesome.
It's under maintenance.
Yeah, they're like, screw these guys.
Come on, Germany. I'm going to hit refresh one more time.
That's
I'm
awesome.
watching you. It's how long? What's the ping time to get this? All right, come on.
That's
come on. Let me
hysterical.
see.
Under maintenance.
Yeah, whatever.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Come on, newsroom.porsche.com.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You are not under maintenance. Try the
That's
Wayback
pretty funny.
Machine.
So I'm definitely anxious and curious to see where we land on what the challenge car is going to be. It could be something. I mean, either way, it's going to be fun and exciting. But it's just, again, like, to what degree, and what kind of fun and excitement is it going to create?
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, that's kind of on the horizon. And then, I did plug our Porsche Classic swap meet is now scheduled for December 2nd. I had a gentleman stop by today that definitely wants to participate and get a booth space for it, but he needs to bring like his truck, full of stuff. We're going to be able to accommodate for all of that. We're moving it inside the dealership versus being out on the lot, just because it's the beginning of December. Weather obviously is pretty unpredictable here. Sure. So having it inside will be really nice. Temperature controlled. Everything will be cleaner, no wind, all that stuff. And then we'll even have, either a show or booth space out on our mezzanine of the pre-owned building. So I think it makes for a really cool space to do this. And then the 356 registry is going to advertise it for us as well in their newsletter and their online magazine. So we'll get some plugging there and that's not just a local thing. That's a national deal. So maybe get some attention, from that. Who knows? Have some people, come in to check it out, or just to say, hey, hope it all goes well. But anyway, so we'll start getting some information out, to people about that, how they can register for a booth. There's no cost. There's no fee for a booth. That's what the dealership is providing.
You just owe the MJ LPO fund.
That's right.
10% of your take.
Yes, that would be great.
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly how many booths are going to be available. So it definitely will be a first come, first serve when it comes to signing up or registering for a booth space. So when the email finally does come out, in order to be able to register for it, if you already know that you want to reserve a booth,
I've got 2 booths reserved.
you're going to have to snatch it up right away.
Yep. I've got a Hot Wheels vendor
Yes.
that wants to be here, so I need one for him. And then I think I've got a painter that I might be able to have come do some live paintings and have some of his stuff.
Awesome.
So I'll take 2 booths.
That's cool. And then we do have some local people involved with Pikes Peak. I think it would be super cool if I could convince them to come set something up to where they could do their talk, or I mean, it's not like they're presenting to the whole audience, but it's a booth.
Yeah.
So as people come by. So, and then the body shop, Euro Cars, they're going to have, some stuff to display. Even
Do we have
stuff
any
to
velvet
sell.
ropes? We need some velvet ropes and stanchions
Sure.
so we can rope off the first Dibs booth.
Oh,
So we can do autographs. We'll have Lewis signing butts and boobs. Neither of those are on the list of things I can't say on TV. But wouldn't that be good? We could just have a first Dibs booth, and it's got to be velvet roped off.
that would be fun.
Please don't look at the talent. We just sit there and talk. Saw your eyes.
We don't
Get him out of here.
we don't rope off the car.
We just rope off us.
Trust me, it's something we can't touch you.
Yeah. That's probably true. Yep.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to it. It's a fantastic idea that came to us from Alfred.
Yeah.
And I love it. I mean,
Are we going to set up the PA? Oh, it's inside.
it's inside.
So yes, we are going to set up a PA.
We're going to use both buildings, the pre-owned classic center and the new car building. So we'll have a lot of, and then the mezzanine, outside. But so I mean, we should have a lot of space.
Well, that's great. We're going to sell our parts. Does anybody need what is that? A V8 out of a Panamera sitting on the back deck over there?
That's a good idea.
2 grills. We've got grills, and not the teeth one, just old grills that you could clean up and put at your rental property. That'd be fine.
We got some.
None of them
wheels.
come with propane. Expired helmets. Let's sell some expired helmets.
I think we can actually get away with those for some things, though.
Like Lewis's Halloween costume. I borrowed one. I brought it home, and Lewis was the Stig for Halloween.
Really?
Yep. It worked out pretty good.
Fun. No, we got all kinds of stuff. I would love to clean out some of the clutter.
I bet let's auction off some Premier Dealer Awards.
We have enough.
Those probably need to go. This is going to be fun.
We're just going to keep getting more.
Yeah, I know. This sounds great.
Yeah.
There's got to be some old posters, dealership posters and stuff.
Oh my gosh, that's an amazing idea.
Yeah.
I personally have a enormous collection of Porsche posters.
Yeah.
I don't even know what all of them are.
Bring them all in. I'll buy some.
That's a good idea.
You're welcome. That's why they call me the co-host.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Are we out of time yet?
We can be. We can. You know what? The great part about this is it's free and we're not paid.
That's right.
So we can turn it off whenever we want.
Right.
Yeah.
And we get to advertise stuff for free.
You know, we should have one of Dan's friends has a steering wheel collection. We should have him bring them down and just put astronomical prices on it. So they don't sell because he doesn't want to sell them.
Yeah.
But at least then they'd be displayed.
They're
and
displayed.
That'd be kind of fun.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Hey, anybody listening out there getting some ideas?
Yeah.
Just remember when the email goes out, and in order for you to get an email right about this notification, you've got to be. You don't have to be a client. You know, like you don't have to.
But we need your email address.
We need your email. Yeah, you don't have to have
We
purchased
don't.
a card.
Yeah, we don't buy email addresses just to send you emails.
No, but if you've
It might not be a bad idea.
If you've submitted a lead, you know, something like that, you know, if you've had some interaction with the store and your email is involved, you could get an email. But yeah, just keep in mind that as soon as it comes, I mean, it's not like, oh yeah, I'm going to sign up for it. Like, no, you need to sign up for it. If you know that you want a booth space.
And then you need to be here. Otherwise, we're going to ask for your address in the registration. Right. And if you don't show up, we will be there with a drive shaft.
We're just going to leave it on your lawn.
Exactly. Yeah, that's not a threat. That's just, you throw this thing away. Whatever doesn't sell from the Porsche thing, we're going to split evenly among the people that registered and didn't show up.
Right. Just
so
drop it.
Yeah, exactly. You might get 7 random wheels with no tires, and your neighbor might get 7 random tires. But
that's a great idea.
And we will leave the state. So don't sign up unless you're going to be here.
That's right. That's a pretty good idea.
Thanks.
So, is there anything else you needed to touch on?
Nope. No. I'm not shaving until I decide I'm going to shave again.
Okay.
I realized I'm old.
Yep.
There's a lot of...
That's some salt and pepper.
Yeah, it used to be red. Now it's white. So, I don't know what that means.
Stress.
Yeah.
Stress.
Germany is way further north than New York.
Yeah. Oh, you got it pulled up there.
Yeah, it's kind of lame. Like how are we're like Portugal. No, we're not.
Portugal.
Are you kidding?
So much nicer.
Yeah,
than here.
I know. What the hell is that? You know?
That's funny. Oh,
Florida is like the Western Sahara. What is that all about? Why?
At least on a flat map.
Yeah.
So, what was it? So there was no sunshine the whole time I was there. It was gray. It was overcast, gray, misting. Like
that kind of makes sense.
And then, but it wasn't like crazy cold. It was cold, but it wasn't ridiculously cold. It wasn't like Siberia, right? Well, anyway, we extended the trip. We went to Catherine's oldest daughter's college. She goes to college in Bremen. And I just, for whatever reason, decided to ask some of her friends, saying like, oh, do you guys have those, sunlights or whatever? And they said, oh, actually, you can rent them from the college, but they're always gone, right? So you have to sign up for them in advance and then just be ready, when they come up. Like, oh my gosh, I totally get why you need these, right? The sun lamps. So anyway, on our way out, we just ordered one. It's sent to her.
Just need some vitamin D.
Well, they highly recommend taking some supplements of vitamin D. And then this sun lamp thing, you just get like 15 minutes of exposure each day or something. I have no idea how the thing works. Is it just some
probably just giving you skin cancer?
Is it some just insanely bright flashlight kind of thing? I don't know.
Probably.
I want to say it's like 14,000 lumens or something like that and it's like this thing that sits on your desk or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's timed, right? But like, apparently you can't just like turn it on and leave
Put
it
on your SPF first.
right?
Yep.
I'm super curious how it works, but it's a therapy tool. I get it. I mean, I understand how people just start getting down.
You didn't comment on how beautiful my skin looks. I had my first facial because
who did this to you?
Emma Rose. Yeah. She's a sweetheart. We are expanding as my wife's business into doing facials.
Oh, wow.
In addition to massages. So,
what kind of business is this?
Yes. It was very pleasant. I could, it's funny. Like
Emma Rose is an esthetician.
Yeah, she's an esthetician. She was great. And it's something new that our business is doing, but
that's cool.
you lay down for like an hour and they rub like 7 different things all over your face. And then they say, your skin looks pretty good. And I go, thank you. And then you're done.
Wow.
And it was kind of nice.
Yeah.
So
That's not what changed the color of your beard?
No, I didn't have the beard yet. Yeah. I've heard theories about what makes your facial hair different colors, but I can't repeat them on air. But no, I thought it was really nice. And
did they put a mask on you?
It was like multiple. I had an oatmeal mask, and then I had like a facial cleanser, and then I had some like little cucumbery things over my eyes, and then some like aromatherapy things. They'd like wipe your face off as they were. It was really nice. I was like, man, I wish I washed my face once because. Like, do you wash your face?
Yes.
Like every night?
Not every night, but I'm actually really good about washing my beard because beards can get pretty nasty.
Nappy,
yeah, they can.
Gross.
But no, I'm really good about washing my beard in the shower every morning, and so.
But that's my point. Like, I shower every morning. I have to. Like, I can't take a day off.
Yeah.
And that's like my skincare regimen. It's not like I moisturize or
Right.
I don't put on suntan lotion
Right,
and
right.
I don't like go to bed and wash my face off and put on a Biore nose strip. Like I don't. What were those little? Remember they came in a little round blue thing and you used to wash your face with them. When you had acne and stuff.
And then you could see how much grease.
Yeah,
came
exactly.
Off your,
They were gross, but they were
yeah.
really good.
Yeah, like oil strips.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, I don't do any of that, but this made me want to. It made me be like, maybe I can be a little younger. But nobody commented. No one was like, John, you're glowing today.
Well, you did it at the wrong time. You did all
you
all
weren't
the
here?
cleansing. No, you did all the cleansing, and then you'd let your hair grow.
No,
up.
this is like a week ago.
Well, it's taken you a month to grow that beard.
This is like a week. This is about a week, I think. When was?
All right.
I don't know. Anyway, for the first Dibs podcast, I don't have anything else to say.
I'm Justin,
and I'm going to play some German music.
Thank you so much for continuing to watch and listen.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to be back here versus on the other side. So anyway.
Next time I'll go.
Yeah,
that's just fine.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Thanks, everybody.
We're so bad at our game. We just quit everything, and I thought I was being cool and playing music, but I turned it off. Now here. Let me try this one.
Good night, everybody.
Hört's mir zu, ich möchte eine kleine Geschichte erzählen. Welche Stadt soll ich als Lieblingsstadt wählen? Nicht Hamburg, nicht Frankfurt, da kennen mich nicht aus. Von den schönsten Plätzen, da such ich München mir aus. Und ich glaub, jeder wird mich verstehen.